Welcome back to another edition of the Optimized Weekly Market Recap. I'm David Ferreira, and as always for today's recap, we'll take a look at last week's activity in the markets, as well as what we're watching for in the week ahead. It was a strong week for equities, with many indices trading in record territory. The Nasdaq, S&P 500, and the TSX all finished the week up around 1%, with the value-centric Dow Jones finishing the week up 65 basis points. We also saw strong performance out of Europe, with the DAX and the FTSE 100 both up over 2% on the week. And looking at sector performance, both energy and communications were the strongest performing sectors, while real estate and consumer discretionary lagged behind. Now, looking at the events from this past week, the US economy ended 2023 on a solid note, with GDP reported rising 3.3% quarter over quarter, smashing expectations for a more moderate gain of 2%. Economic resilience remained on full display, with the consumer, private investment, and government spending accounting for the lion's share of the last quarter's gain. In the US, inflation continued to drift lower in December, with the 12-month change on core PCE, the Fed's preferred inflation measure, slipping below 3%. Falling goods prices and some cooling in non-housing services have both been the key contributors to the recent downward pressure on inflation. And the Bank of Canada held their policy rate at 5% last week, while making minor tweaks to their forecasts. Inflation was still within the BOC's target range at 2.5% on a year-over-year basis, and the Bank of Canada stated that they wanted to see further easing in core inflation, while also highlighting that shelter costs remain the biggest contributor. Now, for the week ahead, all eyes will be on the Federal Reserve's monetary policy meeting. And while the Fed is widely expected to leave the interest rate target unchanged at 5.5%, it will still be interesting to see the guidance it offers for the year ahead. In the US, we'll get a look at November's non-farm payroll data, which will provide insight on the state of the US labor market. And in Canada, we'll get a look at the publication of November's GDP data. Additionally, a number of big earnings reports are on the docket for this week, with Apple, Alphabet, and Microsoft all due to report. Certainly no shortage of excitement in the markets last week, with more to come in the week ahead. Now, as always, thanks for watching, and see you soon.